Okay, I'm ready.
Mhm. Welcome to the Riff Raft podcast, episode 11, a show where we help you exit the system which is sinking and build your own life raft and
Yeah,
create independence for yourself. And what
it's
else do
time.
we do?
It's time to jump ship, right? We're seeing this all over where we're regulated to death. We're overloaded with regulation and a bureaucratic system that doesn't work, right? So it's time we do some other stuff, and we're not experts. I think one of the things, David, that I'm really learning is that I am learning. I am learning as I go. We talked about maybe doing a show on bees. I already have. You're thinking about getting, or rabbits. One of the things I'm trying to do is do that and just create maybe a dialogue around what's tricky and what's not so tricky.
Yep, we're homesteaders and we're sick of it all. There's sort of three things we're going to kind of discuss today. Well, really, it's a hodgepodge of things. Things we're
Yeah.
observing around us. You and I don't use social media. We've been out in the weather, in the garden, on the homestead doing stuff. We're both.
hmm
How exhausted are you right now?
Well, pretty exhausted. I do use a bit of social media I have my own
Yeah.
tallow skincare, but I tell you, it's pretty much not worth it. What people end up doing is creating all these videos and giving away all this information to get views or likes or people joining their page, but I don't think it really translates into it. What you are is then you become, instead of a homesteader, you become a social media purveyor, right? And I won't do that, but I do take orders through there. Which is interesting. But yeah, I'm totally exhausted. I would say I'm in bed by 9 for sure while the sun's still out.
Yeah, it's been getting embarrassing lately. I'm like, it's 7 o'clock. Can I just go to bed? And my wife
Yeah,
is just like, yeah, man, you look extremely
yeah,
exhausted right now. Please go to bed. And I told you I had like a weird, not an anxiety attack yesterday morning, but it was a low blood sugar spike
yeah, yeah.
that involved almost hyperventilating. And I was like, honey, I'm having an anxiety attack and I don't know why. Because I don't have those. I don't have
Mm,
anxiety really at all.
mm.
I mean, normal amount.
Yeah,
Because realized I wasn't even consuming sugar. I'm so busy and working so hard after a very sedentary winter that my body's just crashing out. So I had like a blood sugar weird thing that has never happened before. So we talk about health on here sometimes too. So maybe we could say if you're a homesteader and it's this time of year, spring, um, what is it? May 14th.
yeah,
Deep into it now, lots of digging and bullshit going
yeah,
on. And the black flies. Take it from here.
yeah.
I'm starting to unpack some of our stuff we're going to talk about, but where are we going to begin? You were talking about the little market places. So
Yeah.
let's talk about markets, farm
Well, first,
markets, stuff like that.
first, before we go on, I just want to say that anxiety attacks are one of the most misdiagnosed thing and usually are symptoms of cardiovascular issues, endocrine thyroid disorders, or other nervous system things. But it's easy now for doctors to just say that this is a mental health issue, this is anxiety, because they don't want to pin anything else down, and it takes so long to get into other places. So just to say that, like you probably, if you would have went to a doctor, they would have said, yeah, that's anxiety, but it turned out to be insulin. So just to say that.
Well,
So
luckily, here's another tidbit. My wife, as I've mentioned, is a registered nurse with 20 plus years experience. She actually just looked at me from across the room and she said, "You
go
got low
eat.
blood sugar," because she knows me. She's like, "You're not
Yeah.
having anxiety," but I was surrounded by dishes, and I will say, as an ex-chef with PTSD from working in that industry a little bit. Not PTSD, I'm joking. But when I'm in the kitchen and I'm surrounded by dishes and I neglect the kitchen for a few days, which happens this time of year,
hmm
I find I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I do all the cooking and the cleaning in the kitchen besides everything else around here. So sometimes it's just like, ugh. But my wife works,
mm,
so I take on that. I do that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
You're the house spouse.
yeah, I'm the house man. I'm looking for a job right now, though. Summer job.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway.
Interesting to me, there's a lot of I saw youth internships. I was looking for uh a young person in my life, and a lot of the museums in Alberta are doing summer internships for youth over 16.
Hmm.
So it's kind of interesting if you know any youth over 16 and they want to get into that curated history, it might be interesting for them.
Yeah, sometimes I think about having somebody over here, like put up a poster at the library on the bulletin board. You want to learn how to be a gardener?
Mm, mm,
I have 2 diplomas. I'll show them to you. Come learn
mm,
organic gardening with David.
mm.
I'll show you how. Just follow me around, shadow me if you want to, but you got to help out a lot.
Well, I was thinking, so we up on the other side of our property, which isn't huge, we've got water coming in right at the well and then electricity there. And I said to my husband, gosh, maybe we should let somebody park their tiny home here or their RV for free for a few hours work because I'm feeling so tired. And he had surgery this year. He still can't really move his arm over his head, and he definitely isn't lifting anything yet. And so yeah,
Mhm.
it's just, it's been difficult. I mean, and that's I want to say dark side, but I think all these kitschy videos on social media and everybody that's leaving it. I said to my husband, is the last 20 years of our lives going to be slogging from dawn to dark? Or we don't even make it to dark because we're so tired.
Mhm.
Like he said, this is the hardest he's ever worked
I feel that
between
way.
working his regular job and then working the land here, which we don't even have a big piece of land, and it's like we're tired and we're old, and I've got a chronic illness and some cognitive issues. You have some cognitive issues too. I don't know if that makes it harder. Like in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, I can't even remember how to plan my day some days, right? I have
Well,
brain fog
yeah,
so bad.
yeah, yeah. I had a ischemic stroke, so my brain damage is here, and it's minor, but it affects speech. Not great because I'm a podcast. If I sound drunk sometimes, listener, that's I'm not drunk. I just can't fucking talk right anymore.
Mm,
But also cognition is the
hmm.
other area.
Yeah,
And I've been meaning to research that cognition, just to like. I mean, I don't know. I'm bad at multitasking.
yeah.
Worse than ever
Well,
right now.
yeah, you're a guy too, so
And just with the garden, it's like, what are we going to plant here? And you really got to prioritize. We got to dig up this bed because this crop's coming in straight away. The seedlings are getting tall. They got to go out. You know how it goes. So just stuff
yeah,
like that. I get the brain fog, and I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
you
And
know.
it's hard to make a plan and think through and then not get distracted, or
Mhm.
sidetracked or what have you. I really have to try and stay focused.
Here's a solution. Let's pack it up. Let's stop homesteading. Let's forget the whole fucking thing. Go to the grocery store like everyone else does. And here's a question for you. This is from my notes. Let's get into the show a little. How are people affording groceries right now? Thank God we're growing shit here, and we stocked up. Like we buy bulk dry goods, whatever. This is a good financial thing for us. But like we went to the
Yep.
grocery store the other day, and it's like, what? $200 for this shit? Peanut butter and whatever.
Uh, $100 and you have one small bag. So it
Yeah.
was, oh, I don't know if I took a picture. It was $30 for coffee when I went to the store the other day for the small bag of organic good coffee. And I
Wow.
understand that it's a good coffee, but that's double what it was last year. So last year I thought it was expensive when it was 14.99 for the small bag, and now it's 28.99, so doubled. Which is interesting. It's to me it's interesting that those are all the goods the the goods that are really expensive now are all the ones they're cloning, like chocolate and coffee, right? So
Oh, I forgot about
that's
that. The genet
yeah,
the lab grown chocolate. Yeah, forget the meat,
yeah,
everybody. Chocolate's not
and
next.
coffee. Yep, those are the ones they're trying to bring in next. So lab grown
Coffee.
meat's already here. It's been introduced. It's unlabeled, and they did that despite the outcry. They just did it in a different way behind your back. So that's interesting. But I'm not gonna lie to you, David. I want to have a really honest conversation. Is last night I did say to my husband, "Fuck it." let's sell the acreage, we'll get a small condo, or we'll get an
Mm.
RV and we'll spend the rest of our lives, even if it's just 5 years looking around, we can go to farmers markets and get good food from other people, right? Like we're turned on. We don't have to go to that. But I just said to him, is this going to be the last of our lives, is slogging from morning
Yeah.
to night?
Well, I
Just
think
to
we think that
know
too,
that
but
they're going to take our properties in the end anyway. Nobody's going to be allowed to
exactly.
live rural, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And the Soviet Union, they would have called you a kulak. Anybody with a goat and a roof, a metal roof, they'd come and take
Yeah,
that from you. Yeah, in my mind, yes, it's a slog, but we're putting in the infrastructure. I keep telling myself that, but my wife, God love her, she got 4 dump truckloads of soil delivered,
love
strategically
it.
placed around the property. And I was like, could you please not this year? Please, not this year. And she did. And she single-handedly shoveled half of it, one of those piles already by herself yesterday.
Yeah,
She's got German DNA. She's a hard
yeah,
fucking worker. She does most of the work now. Well, it's kind of
yeah,
true, man. We do it together, like we
yeah,
put in the effort. But I guess just to your point, in my mind, it's like we're going to build the infrastructure, things running here. Then
yeah.
later, just put in the plants, put in the seeds, and fucking be done with it. And cut the grass, keep it looking nice, and that's the hope. But again, it's just when you're running a homestead, it's not like that.
I just don't think it's going to be like that because the
Yeah,
well
it'll never
breaks,
be
or
like
then
that.
your
Yeah,
pipes freeze up, or you have mice in the fucking garage, or you've overbuilt and you have to build shelves here, or the
yeah.
insulation's gone, or the one thing my son-in-law says is he's like, I don't want an acreage. All I see you guys do is work, and I don't want that for the rest of my life.
Mm,
It's like another full-time job. I feel bad for my husband because it's my
mm,
full-time job, but he has a full-time job and then he has this one too, right?
mm, yeah.
Your quad breaks down, your tractor breaks down, your whatever you have for machinery, even if it's just a lawnmower, then you know, you it's always something, and I think people aren't quite honest about the amount of work it is, right? And I guess I'm a worker too, so I feel like I'm not going to be a good RV liver because I just make up shit I have to do because I like to be
Yeah,
busy.
yeah.
But fuck, I don't know. So here now in Alberta, $30 for coffee. Uh, my husband has a disease that's killing his lungs, so he's supposed to go for a CT to see how much they're dying. He's booked in for October 2028 was the earliest. So that's not even for just a CT in general. This is for a disease they already know is killing his lungs. So he's high on the list. That's the earliest. And the some of the native bands just overturned the referendum for separation here, and I just think, why am I doing this? I don't even like people anymore,
I was
right?
going to ask you about that. Let's look at that for a sec. Alberta, that's where you are. I'm in Nova Scotia.
Hmm.
Alberta, there's a lot of talk in the news about separating from the country. I
Yeah.
always never thought it would happen just because they would never allow it. The New World Order, fine. They would never allow it to happen. It's more of a psyop in some sense, but correct me if I'm wrong. How serious is it out there? Do you think it could happen?
Well, we got double the amount of signatures needed to even just put it on a ballot, right?
Think
I
so?
think it's there. When I go to town, I'm hearing particularly young men now talk more openly about like it's time to be done. But it's so weird is like people don't understand that they're still trying to get Brexit to go through, right? So this is just the first step to have
Yeah.
a question. Should we? Not
That's what
are
I mean.
we, but
That's
should
what
we
I
even
mean.
consider it, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll have to follow the rule of law of Canada to
Yeah,
get out
exactly.
from under Canada. To me, it's like asking your abusive husband who controls all your finances and dictates everything you can do and then makes it so that you can't do anything. Hey, do you
Yeah.
mind if I leave?
Yeah, I'm not going to make friends because a lot of people are passionate about the topic. They want to separate, well, Albertans in particular, I guess. But
I think
I feel like it's a contagion from the psyop of the 51st state psyop, which is so huge and so massive that even in Nova Scotia there is Facebook groups about separating. It's
Yeah,
like, fuck off.
I don't think so. I think that's what they tried to make it. I think this psyop is opposite what you think, just from being
Okay,
here. And just so you know, I got a
sure.
tiny house in Saskatchewan, and the talk of separation there is just as robust
Okay.
as here. So we have a property in each, just doesn't matter, but we're trying to hedge our bets that way. Anyway,
I'm just thinking,
um,
like, if it does happen, it would be engineered and steered and get weird, or maybe it'd be
so,
great. Maybe it'd be, hey,
yeah,
maybe it would be a utopian wonderland of oil squirting out
no,
of
no,
everyone's
it won't be.
backyard. Like, I mean, but
Mm-mm.
I don't know what people think. They can just make a vote; it's going to happen. But what, 20 years
Well,
it
it
could take.
won't be, and I think the progression is actually this, is that there was talk of separation, and Alberta, I think economically is in the best position. That's why they've attacked that. And then the PSYOP was like the CBC and the Canadian government brought in the 51st state here so they could link it to Trump, right? It's
Yes.
Trump's
Yeah.
overreach. It's
Right.
Trump's
Right.
bad, right? So that has been it. So I just ignore the 51st state stuff. But
Okay.
what I'm really learning rurally is that our municipalities are so captured by the WEF, the DEI, the
Yeah. United Nations.
the native stuff, the United Nations that and I think even the Alberta government is if you think we're going to separate and we're going to start with a clean slate, you're wrong. And here's the
Mm,
other thing that you're wrong about is that the Canadian government doesn't own Canada. The British monarchy owns most of the land here. And so uh, they're not going to give it up. I mean, the
yeah.
British monarchy right now, if anybody's watching, seems to me the little bit I've seen is they're trying to rebrand themselves. It's like from UFOs, where they told us we were all crazy liars, to now UAPs, where they're really into the
Yeah.
research. It's like British monarchy bad, except for the new British monarchy. They're good. They're woke.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
Yeah.
so I don't know if we're going to have to get out from under it, but I will say that
I think my problem is this. I mean,
everything's being pushed towards revolution now,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I just don't believe in the power of the people. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I don't. I'm sorry, everybody. I have no faith in humanity, and that's okay. I never really did anyway, but I definitely don't anymore. After
yeah,
2020 to present, fuck it. This is the raft. I'm on the fucking raft floating away from the ship
yeah,
that's going down with Mark Carney at the helm.
yeah.
Whatever.
And it doesn't even matter if it's Mark Carney. Would you say that? Like, that's what I think.
Yeah,
You can
no.
blame Mark Carney, but if Pierre Poilievre was
Whoa.
in, we'd be in the same fucking thing. Like,
Yeah, he
it's
just,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bullshit of illusion, right? And I think you're right. So it's interesting there. I did read a editor's letter from a small town in Alberta, and it was one of the residents saying they're paying $7,000 a year to live in this dying town in property taxes. And supposedly it's because they have to keep the council going or whatever, but the guy says we can't even see what that's spent on. We're no longer eligible. You have to pay for fire call outs, so that's one thing that people need to know is you pay for your own fire call outs now rurally in a lot of places. um
Hmm.
what me and my husband can see is the only thing we can see that's being done for the amount of taxes that we pay rurally is that our road gets done, but it really only gets done because it's a bus route and also to get transport for farmers or whatever, right? You have to keep that infrastructure going, but we're not eligible for fire. If I had to call a police officer, I bet you the call out would be an hour to my place, and they know it. So there's been a rash of break-ins here. Nobody even does an insurance claim or anything anymore. They just post it on Facebook. Let me know if you see it so I can go pick it up. You know, that sort of thing. So it, I
Hmm.
do, and I'm feeling that same way as you, was like, to the resentment side of it. And I just want to say up front, I'm a hard person to get along with.
Me too.
So
Yeah.
I don't fit into communities very well. I've got high
Mm,
standards. Most people don't live up to them. I believe you should be like that old school, be a person of your word, work hard, do your share, whatever. And I don't feel like a lot of people live up to that. And then I get to this place of like, why? Why bother?
Let's talk about the downfall of humanity for a second. I can't even get a haircut. I'm trying to get a summer haircut. As you can see, my hair is getting long, and I don't really like that.
Yep.
So, okay, two things, I guess. I can't get a fucking haircut. I mean, I'm still working on it. I went to the First Choice haircutters first, where it's like a corporation, basically. I think maybe
Yeah.
you've heard of it.
Big business. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big business one where they're filled with just students. And then the person who walked up to the cash register and said, name, didn't even look at me, but had a huge, I'm sorry, transgender flag sweater on. That's okay. I just thought,
Yeah.
whatever. But then she gave me the Gen Z stare.
Yeah.
And I just sort of turned around and walked out. I just felt like, I don't know. Anyway, leave that aside. I've realized there was a
So,
barber. Yeah, go ahead. The real point of the story is the other thing. This was an irrelevant side issue. I wasn't judging the person. I just thought like the Gen Z stare is the thing. Forget the transgender stuff. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. That's just another element. Just subconsciously, I was like, ew, gross, whatever. I don't know. Weird. And dystopian and transhuman, whatever. It bugs me, that stuff. Sorry.
so for me, it does matter to me, not in that it's like they're pro LBGT. Like I fought for the marriage equality rights, of course, back in a time where you actually did get your ass kicked, not in this pretend time where you think you're a warrior, but the war's already done. Um, it matters to me because I feel like those corporations are misusing an actual minority group for their own marketing and stuff, right? So I go into the co-op rural Alberta and they've got gender neutral bathroom. I said to the person, like, what a fucking joke. And of course, they don't say anything. And I said, there's one bathroom. That's the misuse of a group for marketing. You're just trying to market yourself there, right? That's not, if there's only one bathroom, everybody knows that everybody can use it. It's not gender neutral, it's gender everybody. And it makes no fucking sense that you would do that, right? And
Yeah.
and pre that, were you screening? Was your workers screening people and telling transgendered people they couldn't come in or asking who you like to fuck before they come in? Like this is all just marketing and people should call it a day. It's the misuse
Mm.
of people, I think.
Mm.
But also I think too it's like is this what our lives are going to be? Like I feel like we're living out the Hunger Games where these really elaborate people on top are telling you how to live in a world that doesn't exist.
Yeah, sure. And I guess I will elaborate because I'm not a bigot. I'm absolutely not. I care about human beings and I fucking hate technology and I hate ideologies that fuck with people. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt like when I went in there, I was slapped in the face with modernity. Okay. I got the Gen Z stare. She had the bull ring in her nose, the transgender, everything. And I was just thinking,
Yeah.
What about a hi? How are you?
Yeah.
A smile? I'm
A
sorry. That's
greeting.
fine.
Welcome
Okay.
in. Welcome in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I get it. The service industry is over, right? The customer service industry is, we know this. Okay, fine. I can accept that. But I mean, I'm not into transhumanism. So anyway, so I said, well, there's a barber. Wow, I didn't even realize that. So I went to the barber and it said, open at 9 on this little sign there. It was early in the morning. No appointments, walk-ins only. And I looked at my watch and I was like, well, it's almost 9. So I sat on the step and there's another guy in his truck waiting. So I got ahead of him. And then the barber shows up at about 9, goes inside, doesn't say anything. I was sitting right on the step. I had to stand up and get out of the way. And I said, hey, good morning. And he just walked in, didn't even look at me. And changed the little thing to 10 o'clock. It's like a little clock. You can turn the little thing, the thing. We'll be back at 10 o'clock. So I was like, oh, shit. Well, darn, he must have something to do. So I fucked around for an hour in town. I didn't want to be there. I got irritated. Just being in town irritates me in general. I have things to do, and I got to be on the farm. You know what I mean? Get a haircut, get busy, get the haircut.
You got stuff to do. Yeah.
I got stuff to do. Need a fucking haircut. And then he didn't show up. 10:15. I'm sitting on the fucking goddamn step. No barber. The guy in the truck comes back, and I'm like, "Where's the barber?" He's like, "I don't know. I need a good haircut." And I was like, "Yeah, me too. I got problems here. Look at this. I need a real somebody knows what they're doing here." So I don't have a haircut yet.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So, and it's not about the haircut. It's about society.
So what do you think of this, David, my friend messaged me the other day and he said, I got Starlink and I had a problem, and all their customer service is AI, right? Obviously. And they make no
Mhm.
qualms about it. They don't try and hide it. It's like all our customer service is AI. And he messaged me and he said it was the best customer service he had had in years. He said it was amazing. He said, I called for two different issues. It was taken care of immediately and my problem was solved. And he said, I haven't had that in years. And so for me, I'm just trying to find out from my insurance whether I'm covered for something. So I called the actual insurance. They won't tell me. Call your broker. Call my broker. Email my broker. Email three people in my broker. Yeah, haven't heard back. It's been 2 weeks, and I'm like, fuck. Of course. Why wouldn't people want AI now? Like it's maddening, and I don't mean just maddening as in angry. I mean maddening as driving you insane, trying to get anything done in this bureaucracy of incapable, ineffectual people. And when I hear that, I think, well, maybe humans have made their bed. Maybe it was created, but I'm
Yeah.
desperate to get a question answered in some sort of service too, right? Which is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's done. It's done. That's all. It's finished. We'll be looking at this with Andre on my podcast, The Freedom Convo, later in the month.
Okay.
How this problem, deeper issues here about technology and how it changes people,
Yeah.
and we don't fully understand it. We cannot comprehend it until we read Martin Heidegger and other philosophers
Yeah.
who delved deeper. It's a I'm sorry, we're fucked, but get on the raft and go away. The ship is sinking. It's fine. Who
Yeah,
cares?
so then I think, do you have to work like a slog? I guess you don't have to do everything on your property all the time. I just also know that, when you talk about being in town and what that's like and being around people, I think, well, I mean, maybe you don't have to grow all your own food. Maybe you just have to show up home and realize there's no neighbors, and that's the best gift you can give yourself for the end, right? Maybe that is the holiday.
Well, I'm passionate about it. I'm going to keep homesteading. I'm going to keep working hard. But as I said, just try to watch my sugar intake and get proper rest and eat
Yeah.
my breakfast before I go out digging in the dirt. Getting older,
Mm.
take care of things. No, we'll keep pushing. We're not done yet. We're passionate about
It
the
ju-
project.
so do you
I will break my body and mind in the
yeah,
service of my land, nature, and fuck the New World Order. How about that? Rather than
yeah,
have them break my mind and my body and whatever it is they would like me to fucking do tomorrow, which I'm not
yeah.
going to do. No, not going to do it. Nope.
So so do you find that like I find that I really am feeling the ups and downs. Like I don't read news. Sometimes Chris comes home and tells me news. That's how come I know, because he actually works outside. But I do find now that my desire, and let's talk about this, is like I know, I really appreciate Andre. I really like Zara and the Collapse Life um, magazine as well. I guess people talk a lot about having a community, but I don't see a place for me in any community. And I asked my husband last night, when was the last time you met somebody that you thought was capable, that could be in our mutual assistance network? Like I I find it hard to find somebody who can even manage their own time, their own schedule, right? Let alone have skills that are capable. I think there's a lot of talkers. Um, yeah, and I guess I just wonder about the community part of it. If me and I don't want to be too much of a downer, but I think it's like I'm just trying to get me and my husband to have our best life at the end of our life, because we're older, right? I'll be a senior soon,
Hmm.
and then what do we do, right?
I don't know how to get along with people, and I never really have. So maybe it's not society or my fault necessarily. I'm just, well, it is my fault maybe. I've just always liked to be alone, and people here have always irritated me, even before the dystopian world we live in now, COVID and whatever else. People just really irritated me after that, much more. I don't know, and I
Hmm.
feel like I'm people don't kind of like to be around me either because I don't know, especially since my stroke. Like I feel like I'm just really don't care anymore, but it feels good. But people can smell that, and they're like, "This guy doesn't care about hanging out with me right now at all." And usually I
Yeah.
don't. Here, you want to talk about community? My neighbor is fighting with the neighbor on the other side of me about whatever. So you have city people moving to cottage country, or
Yeah.
what? Not cottage country, but like moving to the forest.
Yeah.
Not to go back to the land, but to curate nature into like a pesticide contamination zone because they don't like ants,
Yeah.
or a green utopia where all the sticks are picked up in the forest and all that stuff. But then they like there's arguments about people about like what should we do about they want to build a community because our road doesn't get plowed and our road doesn't get fixed because we're not actually we're that far off the grid. But there's this weird bureaucratic thing where we can create our own community, make it official, and even get money maybe from the government to do. Anyway, so they're trying to sort this out. A homeowner is something something. And I'm like, I don't understand any of this talk. I don't want to go. I have nothing to contribute. You want to fix the road? Let's pool our money and fucking just hire somebody and fix it. I
Yeah.
don't want to do this, join this, that. Email the government all day. So anyway, let the smart city people deal with that. Okay. But then
Yeah.
it turns into arguments and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And they do. People leave me alone. They know Dave. He's cool. He's over there growing vegetables or something. We kind of see him sometimes. He's friendly
Yeah.
when we run into him, but he's not much for hanging out with. And that's
Yeah.
how I like to be thought of, actually. Too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Fuck off, everybody. How about that? That's actually how I'm thinking deep down. Not really. Well, yes, really. Sorry. I'm done. I'm
The
done.
hell? I did
Yeah,
a lot
I'm
of
done.
work in community building when I was younger.
Hmm.
Did a lot of helping people with their kids, a lot of work with people with disabilities and reunification of families and helping families and being supportive and working hard. And I just feel like it didn't work, right? Because like what happened at COVID, all those people you helped out or helped do whatever, they didn't give a fuck that you weren't allowed to be on a plane or you weren't allowed to escape or you could no longer have a transplant and they still don't care, right? So it's like, I wonder about that Pareto distribution. That's what I would ask Andres. If you could guarantee that that community was the 20% of workers who do the do the work, then maybe you could build a community, but I'm just not sure. And it's not all their fault. Like I find like I'm like you where it's like, oh, you're gonna bug me? I'm just gonna fucking block you. I'm not gonna bother to have dialogue. I don't give a shit what your excuse is. I don't care what you're trying to tell me, why anything's not your fault. And I'm done with this. Um, I think it's pansy stuff of like, well, you didn't approach me in the way I wanted to be approached. It's like, I don't give a fuck.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, here's the other thing. I don't need you in my life. I'm running my whole place by myself as an old lady with a chronic illness and a dying husband. Right? I don't need you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give you any part of me. And that sounds terrible. It
My problem
sounds
is
terrible.
I'm going to talk to Andre about this too. Like people are, and I got this from Jordan Peterson, but they were talking about this. I was just
Yeah.
listening to him lately. I can't stand that fucking guy. I'm sorry, but I was listening to him because he's good to talk about existentialism, psychotherapy, Nietzsche, and all that shit, which is kind of what I'm
Mm.
thinking about a lot for some upcoming shows. But anyway, they were
Mhm.
saying how people today are so good at minutia conversation, but you bring up a big topic like something actually important, death, God,
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
reality itself. What's the purpose of your life, neighbor? Don't do that. You're going to
Yeah.
upset somebody
Yeah.
and you're going to alienate yourself from them. And that's really what I
Yeah.
do. I just alienate myself from people by just fucking being myself. And I just
Yeah.
can't. They come at you with this minutia talk. Oh, hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I saw you were driving the other day. This, that. Don't worry about what I'm doing every day
Yeah.
with my
Yeah.
life. Like, just mention the fucking weather or something. Maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, and what kind of conversation, I guess, do you have with somebody who's bought into the system or who's going along? I don't know what kind, and
And people on
uh
SSRIs, and I know who they are. They freak me out.
yeah.
Yeah, they do, and I know who's who and who's what. I hear around the community. I know what's going on. Who's who, what's what, and this
Well,
need
not
some
just
therapy.
those, any psychotropic drug, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody is chemically altered and given I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I want to be able to get along with people better in some ways, but in other ways, and I used to really try, but in other ways I don't. And I wish I was a better person. I wish I could say I was more for community and that I would help people out, but I'm just not so sure that I am. And I would say this too, when thinking about building your life raft, is not everybody can come on with it. And these pie in the sky ideas of like, I'm going to help everybody that comes to my door, and I'm going to be for peace and love, and I'm going to live my light. It's like, okay, you go ahead. And when then you get robbed, I want to fucking hear about it, right?
Yeah. I hope no one watches my podcast who I met during the COVID era, because I'm going to say something maybe derogatory towards some of them. I'm going to show you something on the screen while I explain this. During the lockdowns, many people gathered around here, people who didn't believe this bullshit.
Yeah,
And I thought it was great. We found each other through an online group, password
yeah,
protected. And so I
yeah,
thought that's cool. So then there's little events, little farmers markets at people's
yeah.
farms. They're actual farms.
I like
Band,
it.
not yeah. Everyone's home, locked down, hiding in their basement under a blanket, and there's a barn party with a band and hundreds of people inside of it when I arrived. And I thought, this is my first encounter with this group. And it
Yeah,
was like, I was like, this is fucking awesome. Nobody wearing a mask, nothing. I was like, how is
yeah,
this reality happening right now? It was like
yeah.
midnight in November 2020, November, like
Okay.
deep into the
Yeah,
fucking hell. And I was like, there's people who don't believe it. Amazing. So anyway, long story short, started to meet some people, and I instigated a RICO ring, which I
yeah,
learned from James Corbett of the James Corbett podcast. He did a show about it, and it came to my
yeah,
mind. And
yeah,
long story short, you pick and choose what you want to buy from the market, from the sellers online. You show up, you back your vehicles into two rows, trunk to trunk. Open the trunks, sell and
yeah,
trade. Well, no money changes hands, nothing. You just hand over the goods. You've already paid, or you can
yeah,
pay there if you want to. You work it out, whatever. But this is from
yeah.
Scandinavia, the Nordic countries. This is huge up there. There's hundreds of these going on. There's maps of where you can find them. I did a deep
Yeah.
dive, so I instigated one. We started, and it got going. It was fun. A very more talk online than actual engagement. A handful of
Hmm.
people kept it going after a while, but slowly the lockdowns ended. Slowly, a year goes by, and I just lost interest in those people. And here's where I might say something derogatory, but it's just my opinion. It's not derogatory. It's just my opinion. Frumpy new age tyrants who tried to become cult leaders to take
Yeah.
over this group. This is why I'm an anarchist. Groups cannot be trusted. Authority over groups definitely cannot be trusted. Well, I mean, groups, no. I take that back. No one should be controlling anybody ever, or trying to usurp control. One guy even stood on a table and started to preach about taking masks off. God damn it, everybody, never wear a mask again. Because people were talking openly, like, I'm scared to take off my mask in the store. People stare at me. It's scary.
Yeah.
I can't go. Like me too. I was like, I wear the mask, but like kind of hanging down a little. And even then, people were getting dirty looks to me. We just talk, and this frustrated the cult leader to be. And he jumped up on a table and started screaming all this stuff. And then they started to do this Reiki, like, everybody just close your eyes and visualize your energy. And I thought, what is going on here? Is this a fucking revolution or not?
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't. So that's therefore I'm done with that too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think for some people who have tried to build community for years, I think some of them are pretty burnt out. I think there's a lot of um like in the 90s there was this like resurgence of like a neo hippie and I think they really burned a lot of people out in the 90s too, of like all these great ideas, light and love, this and that, and they're the laziest motherfuckers ever. Like I learned you can't even camp by them, or you end up taking care of their kids and cooking for them, right? And I wonder if we're kind of back at that. And
I don't know.
I
There's
don't,
no
I don't
shared.
know, I don't
It's
know
a
how to create community in a place where people, possibly even including myself, don't know how to be community orientated, either because they don't, because they've been brought up selfish that they're the most unique butterfly by their moms, or they're like me where they've been trying to do it for so long and it's cratered, where it's like you, it's like, okay, this was a great idea. It was supposed to just be about food sharing, and now I got to sit around in a Reiki circle and pretend like it's doing something. Maybe we just don't even know how to be in it. And likely what I think will happen is once the collapse happens, people will have to learn how to do it, but because they have to. Right
yeah.
now, we don't really have to, right? It's funny to me though when you speak about that, and maybe we could talk about this a bit, is like how many things that were a good idea that have been totally co-opted by the bureaucracy and the man and the elite. And going back to like how elites, and the video we talked about last episode about how elites have really co-opted everything, including like this sort of mental health system. It's like, farmers markets, you would think that's the place to go, right? But now, do you know for farmers markets, now you have to have food safety training, you have to have kitchen usage certificate, you have to meet all the labeling and requirements, including everything that's on it, the data preparation, the net quality, all of that. Packaging must be food grade, using only containers like egg cartons are generally prohibited. And you have to carry your own insurance now. That's for a farmer's market, right? Like jellies and jams, things that that idea that you could just back up your truck and just sell things of it. That's why I like those Echo rings, right? I think they're back to what farmers markets used to be. So it's like, that's another way the government has really co-opted something of the people. And instead of making it like a government bureaucracy like they've done with the WHO, it's been this insidious health model that's made their bureaucracy there, right? And then I see that happening in podcasts. Like for me, podcasts aren't even worth listening to. The other day, I heard Maury Povich now is back and he has a podcast and he'll be talking to the stars about things. And it's like this big, a
Um,
podcast now is a big Hollywood circle jerk, right? Like Dateline is re-releasing all their things, and whatever movie star has their own podcast where she talks to other movie stars about being great or be what they've learned. It's like, you know what? You don't live like normal fucking people. It's just that elitism. And I would say elitism hasn't just taken over mental health, it's taken over everything. Everything that was ours that belonged to the people is Hollywood now.
Guess so. Except for the trees out there blowing around. Oh well, I guess King Charles owns them. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he owns those. Yeah,
Do you ever
well,
wonder what Canada paid to rebrand everything from Her Majesty's printer to His Majesty's printer?
yeah. The money's gonna get real ugly. Oh, that's right. We don't have cash anymore. Yeah, might as well not.
Yeah,
Boy,
yeah,
we're welcome to the curmudgeon show, everybody.
yeah. Welcome to the Debbie
Yeah,
Downers.
yeah. It's good to laugh though. It's funny, But, I mean, fuck it. Who cares? You know what?
Well, hey, I think there's something about so let's get back to the life raft. Is like there is something. Okay, well, one thing is that people aren't built to be positive, so all these positive thinkers, light and love manifesting people are fucking weird. We're meant to worry and see the negative in things. That's how people have survived all these years and evolved, is by thinking, what don't we have, and worrying about food and worrying about sickness and worrying about things like that. Now that we think that we're covered, it's manifested itself into like a marketing movement, right? Of self-help that's not really there. And you should be able to take a look at yourself and be really honest about who you are in the world and community. And for me, I don't mind doing these podcasts and telling people what I've learned homesteading or learned about getting off the mental health system. Do I think I would be a good part in like a commune or something like that? No. And that's probably not probably that is a personal fault, a character fault in myself that's now there, and or my years of that have already been eaten up. Like I've used all the gasoline and that it's gone. And now I like the idea, the mythology of like the old crone, the lady that lives on the edge of the wood. That's not a part of anything, but you can come ask for help if you need it. I've settled into that, right? But
Yeah.
you should know where you fit, right? Some people don't. People with young kids, it behooves them and their children to be a part of a robust in the world community, and I don't begrudge them that. I'm just not that.
I like what
I'm
you
just
said.
not that.
I don't fit in society, and I know it. Okay, it's fine. Yeah. But the problem is society wants you to be a part of it. Things get weird
Yeah,
there for me.
and do you think too, like I guess the other thing too is if you want to be like a hermit like you or an old crone like me, then you have to take care of yourself because otherwise, the moment you go outside society for something, then then you're a part of it. You have to mold yourself to it, and likely should, right? Like that's how it goes. It's a give and take thing, right?
The problem is
So,
we have no society anymore. Like this grand narrative is over, and this postmodern era is here. Where that's why communities don't work. Everybody has their own reality, and I saw it in that thing. Like, oh my god, they wouldn't show a shadow self, and we're going to enter the fifth dimension. I was like, what the fuck is the fifth dimension? Explain it to me.
yeah,
I asked so many times. Yeah, okay, we're going to ascend. What the fuck do you mean? I mean,
yeah,
what I've deduced is this, and I tried to get someone on the podcast who's a star seed,
yeah.
but
Oh,
but the star seeds won't come on my podcast. People who are born here
well,
from the stars to teach humanity all this shit. They're all star
okay.
seeds over there. Okay, whatever. Our physical body, material reality, is going to shift and change. We are going to become ethereal beings very soon, if you deal with your shadow self first. Otherwise, I don't know what you become, like a demon or something. I don't know. It's hard to get an answer out of this new age stuff. It
Well,
truly is.
in some ways, I like the principle. You got to deal with the bad shit about yourself, right?
Sure,
Um,
we've known that for 1,000 years. Okay,
Yeah,
2,000.
right. That's why there's religion, right? To deal with the human condition, which is all oppressing, right? And easy to move towards the negative. I guess, and I make
Well, God
allowance that
bless them.
that works for some people. It just doesn't work
Sure,
for me. And
they
I'm
they
finding this
hug too much.
too.
They hug too
Yeah,
much. I don't
yeah,
like to be hugged every fucking time I see you. Don't do it. Also, don't do
yeah.
it.
You're
Too
like
much
my
hugging.
husband.
Fuck, don't touch me. Anybody.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm like, I don't know you. Hey, here's a hug. It's just like, in fact, I think I ruffled some feathers on the chat group. I was like, why is everyone hugging all the time?
Yeah.
And
Likes
so,
and love.
and then the cult leaders are like, yeah, everybody, not everyone likes to be hugged all the time. Maybe we can cool that down a little.
Yeah,
This is why I'm no
yeah.
good at, and for this stuff. I don't belong with that.
Well, the other thing that I find too is you can't just say, hey, I just don't want to be hugged. It's like, oh, are you okay? Do you have something to deal with? Or do you have,
Yes.
and then you have to go further and it's like, are you dealing with your shadow
Yeah.
self? It's like a make
Yeah.
work project. You can't just, something can't just be something, right? It's
No,
just
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I
Oh
just
yeah.
don't like to be fucking hugged, all right? I don't want to talk about my mom. I don't want to talk about my family life. I don't have any shadow self to deal with. I'm just
Yeah.
not a hugger, all right?
Yeah. And I appreciate Carl Jung, but also Freud.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's a
yeah,
side issue.
yeah,
They're obsessed with Carl Jung for some reason. He's the shadow guy or something. I don't know.
yeah, yes, yeah.
Two things. When they know when you're in the cult and they know you're not a hugger, everyone gets hugged
Yeah.
all around you. but no one
Yeah.
hugs you. They look at you and like, oh, right, that's not the hug. That's the no hug guy. So things just get
Yeah.
weird. You got to be
Yeah.
in the cult. And in the transgender cult too. If you don't speak the same language, like they'll ostracize you also from their cult. If you just for a slight I wasn't
Oh, dude,
ostracized. I left of my own accord. I'm sure I could have stuck around, but I was
the
irritated by those people.
the police threatened to arrest me on the very same corner for looking at a counter protest on the same corner where 30 years earlier I protested for marriage equality rights. For
Good.
looking. It's so easy to get tossed out of a cult, really, right? Because dissension breeds, you know,
It's not good for the.
more dissension, I guess, encourage.
Mhm.
Hey, listen, all I can say is that people have to run their own ship.
Yeah.
And they should be honest about who they are and where we are in this place too, right? And you are going to have your ups and downs. You're not going to move on to a homestead or get rabbits or get chickens or do your gardens where you don't end up crying or frustrated or throwing a hammer one day or feeling like I can't do this or is this even worth it? You
I,
know,
I was
I
throwing
don't
stuff
want to
yesterday.
lie to people and say this is so great. This is the best
I
thing.
know.
It's
No.
like there's lots of days I'm like, I don't even like other people. I don't give a shit if they make it.
Yeah. Yeah. And my shadow self is here to stay. Deal with it. Period.
Well, I would say there's a dark time coming and there's a shadow there for a reason.
Yeah. You need a shadow self, whatever that is.
Yeah. There's a lot of dark things people will do to save themselves, and maybe they should. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Heavy
Well,
energy. They used to say that a lot. I got heavy energy. Oh,
yeah.
they'd show up at an event and be really depressed looking and go, I was like, where's the bliss?
Well, here's the thing about being in a community too is like, and rural isn't the end all be all for everything, but I can remember 20 years ago going into town or meeting somebody you used to know, and they would ask, you would say, "Hey, how are you? What you been up to?" And they would say, and then they would ask you, "Hey, what you been up to?"
I know.
I
I'm
can't
bad at
tell
that.
you the last time that I saw somebody I know that actually asked me how I was or what I was doing. And so I just am returning that. I mean, I really learned over chronic illness. I don't believe in those people that say find balance, but I now don't give up anything, any of my time or any of my energy to anybody that I don't think is reciprocal in some way.
Yeah, that's what I mean about these minutia people and these SSRIs. There's a whole weird post-human thing going on with them.
I
It's
wonder
like,
if it shuts down that empathy realm in your brain because that's a chemical reaction. You can see that if you do MDA versus MDMA, that sort of methyl ring where you realize, oh my gosh, empathy is just a chemical reaction, a part of your brain that responds, and I think maybe religion does too, and it doesn't
mhm.
really matter, it's still real. But you can see that the insight in them is shut down. Like we know this in long-term studies of kids on ADHD medication, their behavior really doesn't actually get better in the long term because they don't learn and nothing else gets put into place behaviorally. They're just medicated and then they shut up. But the moment they go off, right, it's all it's the bill comes due. You can't put it off. And somebody messaged me because I still do like a certain amount of, I don't want to call it counseling, but skill building, and I do a certain amount of like natural health or whatever. It's like, oh, people message me as like, one said like, I'm really reactionary to this. I was thinking about doing ketamine treatment or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, you can, right? And I make space to do all sorts of drugs. I don't give a shit. I'm not a prohibitionist, but there's no magic pill that makes you not you.
Yeah, that's just it. That's just it. This is the plague of nihilism. And on the Freedom Conversation podcast, that's what we're into lately. I can't stop talking about it. More shows on it
Mm.
coming. This is it. Nihilism. Something's going on with the technology. People are gone, broken. And I do this myself. I don't ask people how they are. I don't inquire. How's your wife doing, by the way? And I almost
I
wrote,
do.
you know what? I know. And I feel bad afterwards. But that's my I think it's the brain damage or something like, because there's people I do enjoy their company. and to talk to. But I feel like I'm just scatterbrained and I'll just say something stupid and random. Like, I don't know, about chemtrails or something. And it's just like, why did I fucking talk about chemtrails? Why don't I just say, how's your wife? And how are you, by the
Yeah.
way?
Yeah.
And I almost literally wrote down on a piece of paper to stick into my pocket, inquire about his family,
Yeah.
because I knew he was coming to visit me. And because I forget. So we are all victims, Limina. This society has infested and changed all of us. Okay? No one's
Then if
exempt from what's going
then
on.
if that's true, then there's no need to blame people too. And
Sure.
and I just want to say in that
We're just observing.
instance,
We're observing the decline and bitching about it. That's it.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm
And
doing.
my only way of making if anybody wants a helpful technique, because what I've decided is I have so little contact, I'm kind of isolated out here, and I don't feel bad about that. I've done my work with communities and things like that. I don't feel bad. But when I go to town, I try and make it as positive as possible with every cashier, with everybody I run into, as friendly as I can.
Yeah,
And the way that I make that the most positive is because this is what people want because they're not me and they don't have empathy, is I ask them all about them all the time. Focuses on them. How are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Are your gardens in? Blah, blah, blah. If you make something all about the other person, they enjoy it. It
I
takes
know.
a lot of energy from me, but I do it so little now. And then every instance and every interaction pretty much is positive. And then I walk away and I come home and that's my little hit. That's what I've been doing.
I will say that I do make people smile, laugh. I'm a real goof, and I'm a friendly, nice guy. I truly am,
Yeah.
deep down.
Yeah.
I am. It's just if you're a post-human weirdo filled with nihilism and you're weird, and I can't, I, I can't pretend with you. I can't
Yeah.
pretend
Yeah.
to care about this fucking minutia. Oh, like school and work. It's like I'm at home right now. Like, why are you asking me about work and school? And it's like But they ask that every time. Change it up, man. And slowly you learn, people over time, and you know what you're going to get each time. And it's just like, and with those people, the relationship doesn't go well over time because you just know what's coming. And you're like, okay, sure, here we go. These stupid fucking questions.
Mm.
And it's just like, I don't know, whatever. And then they read some, and you're in a bad mood, then maybe that day, and then they read something. But that works for me though, because then a gap develops, and you see those people less and less. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm a fucking asshole. I don't know what to do. It's okay.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
cares? You know what? I'm all right. We're just doing a podcast. We're just talking about what we're
Yeah.
thinking, observing, and feeling. I'm going to turn this thing off and go pot up my celeriac. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? In the fucking sunshine. That's what I'm going to do right now.
Well,
Listen to some music, walk my dog, and I'm going to have a great fucking afternoon.
you lucky
With no one
bastard. It's
else,
like
with nobody else around.
gale force winds here today and possibly snow coming in again. I'm just so tired of that.
Should we
I'm
wrap up
gonna
on
I'm
weather?
well,
No.
first, can I give you a Birdie Betty update?
Oh, right. You have a chicken that is doing it the old fashioned way. I'm interested in the update, definitely.
Well, in
She's
theory, right? In
okay. She's trying,
theory.
trying, trying. Okay.
So I put up a thing of my gardens first and then my Betty update I think I'll do if that's okay. Now,
You
I
got
just
to,
want to leave the dark talk that we had is that you should have somebody where you can talk to about what's really going on. Like if you're having a day where it's like, fuck it, I don't care if this whole civilization collapses. I just want to get some Botox and look pretty for the next year. Even if it's not the greatest idea where you can vent your frustration, David and I are not here to tell people that this is the best light and love and we're going to save all our neighbors and all our gardens are the best and we just love to work like dogs from night until day and we don't mind that our old age has been torn from us and we've lost our retirement fund and that it's 2.5 years for a CT, but we don't mind because we believe in public health care. It's an honest conversation with us. So I'll leave it at that and then just
yeah.
say, okay, I'm pretty sure that there is no just leave it. So here's my hoop gardens. They're
Okay,
all
let's
up.
talk about gardening, everybody. We're going to talk about homesteading. Here we go.
So we had to take them all down and reimagine them because the wind out here, which you wouldn't know, is so bad. We had to make the hoops a lot smaller and be very the poly's not on it yet. So we had to really think about what we are going to do. So the front ones are really tiny. They're only a foot off the ground. Those are for my cucumbers. These ones I've made smaller and made it so I can fold the actual chicken wire up for the peas if I need it and what have you. So that was, you know what? Digging is hard work, man. Don't go to the gym. Dig a hole. It's
Holy
crazy.
fuck, I know. Are those
And
trees, are those spruce trees right
yes.
there? Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Great.
yeah.
Are you picking the tips to make tea or jam?
Yep, they're not ready yet. So this
Okay.
year I harvest balsam buds and
Yeah.
spruce tips. I make jelly. I also make like a Vicks Vapor Rub from tallow
Oh,
with
cool.
this spruce tip and stuff. So that's great. So now, Broody Betty. So these are
Okay.
the eggs of our life. This is what my husband says. It's like we're living a chicken soap opera here. And I guess this is one of the things. So getting out of the morose, like feeling sorry for ourselves idea is like, man, having animals, dogs, cats, chickens, rabbits sure give you a lot to talk about. And
Yeah.
so Broody Betty was up in the nesting box, but her chicks are supposed to hatch this week, which means she had to be moved. Now, Betty is not the smartest chicken. She's also not the stupidest chicken, and this is her first clutch. She's not even a year old.
Okay.
So I've moved her from a nesting box down here so that the chicks
Hmm.
can get up and go around. But I also had to put some stuff down because they can get splay legs, so you have to make sure. So I, did this yoga mat down here. But one thing that happened was Betty got up to go because she still gets up every once in a while to drink and poop and get some food, and she did. And I don't know if her or somebody else smashed one of the eggs. So then Betty came back and sat, and the smashed eggs
Mm.
stuck to all of her, and then all the eggs, all seven that were left, stuck to her feathers. So she'd get up, and these eggs were dangling off of her, the poor thing, and you can't wash them. So I had to go out like every hour and pull these stuck eggs off of her until they dried but stayed warm under her. So that was a nightmare. Then I moved her down here. And of course, once you move them, I didn't really realize this, is like she's not like a homing beacon. I'd have to keep putting her back there because she would go to the nesting box. So that was like another every half an hour going out. Uh, and now she's there, but she's not on this nest I built her. She's ended up rolling the eggs all the way down. So every time she does a quarter turn, she moves kind of down there. And if the next picture, I just made like a cardboard inset here. So the babies could hatch. I candled them, which there's an art to that. And when I put one of them back, she decided she didn't like it, so she killed it. So now there's five eggs
Mm.
left, I think. There were five or six eggs left under her. I just put this cardboard thing to kind of keep her under there.
Hmm.
But my idea of doing nothing, I guess when you have animals, there isn't an ever do nothing.
I know. I know. My dog right now just ran over and is waiting for a walk, but she has to wait.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Animals, bugs. You got black fly season in Alberta?
Oh
Black
man,
fly season?
black fly and mosquito came out of nowhere in the last 2 days. Like you don't even want to be outside without long sleeves on.
Yeah, I know. Nova Scotia has a pretty notorious and deadly, not not deadly, unless you're on blood thinners like I was last summer this time.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
was right after my bad stroke. And I was on the most intense blood thinners you could ever imagine. I was too scared to read the side effects. My wife said, "Don't read the side effects. You bet you have to take it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll take it."
Yeah.
The bug bites all over me kept dripping blood out. But anyway, they're not deadly.
Really?
Black flies are not deadly. People know this, but they could carry you away maybe. Oh, it's bad here. Holy shit! And with the right weather, they get worse,
Mm.
right?
Yep.
Anyway, So we talked about that. And I had a spider bite. We have one type of spider here that if it bites you, it can fuck you up bad, like your muscles in that region,
Oh,
and
yeah.
sore muscles and bones, and take months and months to heal the wound. On the back of my knee, I got a bite, 2 holes,
Mm,
and my knee's fucked up. The muscles hurt. I don't know
mm,
if it's connected.
mm.
So just chatting about shit going on in the homestead, and there's many other things, pests and creatures we could discuss, but we're not here to really go into that too deeply. But
We're
that's
having a
life.
huge tick bloom here too, right?
Oh
Which
Jesus, the
people,
ticks.
I mean, have to, yeah, protect themselves. And it's interesting. You can see how, you want to be anti-pesticide and insecticide and this and that, but you can see how it came about. Like you go outside and you're bit so much it almost drives you crazy, right?
Well, we have the bug suits. I have one. I can't reach it, but it's a whole jacket with a hood that
Mm.
zips up. I wear that outside.
Yeah, I got one for my bees. My bees made
Mm.
it through the winter, which I was really happy for, but they're the most aggressive bees ever. I'm almost afraid to open the hive, right? They're so stingy.
That's funny. I was in my show notes. I was going to bring that up because we were cutting the grass, and that's why the flies are so bad. And this conversation comes up around here. I believe it's a psyop, and I brought it up before. The shit about the bees. Bees. There's signs around town and at the library, of course. PSYOP Central, the library, that
Yeah,
says, don't cut your grass until May, well, 18th, 20th, something, because of the bees. And I thought, fuck the bees. The bees are going to be fine if I cut my grass whenever I feel like it, which I cut yesterday to the chagrin of
right.
my wife a little bit. But we have World War III of grass cutting sometimes. Where to, how to, when to, how short, that's all.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
why not? And I said, I'm a man and I demand short grass. And I went at it.
yeah,
That's just a dude thing. I was like, I need nice looking. This is a Zen garden. This is not a
yeah.
wild shit fucking thing going on here like some people in my neighborhood's gardens that they don't give a shit about. Things got to be nice. Keep the grass short. The bees are fine.
Well, bees don't take anything from grass. It would be the dandelions. So, of course, that's the wrong information. I just want to remind people that honeybees are not indigenous to North America. They've been brought here to monocrop monocrops. And it's not that I don't really
Interesting.
honor them. I do. I keep them myself. But, this whole idea that we have to save the honeybees is so we can monocrop them to monocrop the monocrops,
Do you
right?
know how
So
many
it's,
poll? Do you know how many pollinators there are flying around my garden even today?
we're not flying for all those people that are killing ants.
I know, spraying Roundup all around their property. And I live on a lake. I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't say anything. I just like, holy fuck, you're that gone, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was
Yeah.
actually
I was
doing
talking,
work. I was doing work for a guy, chainsawing up some shit in his yard, trees, obviously. And he said, "By the way, there's a huge anthill over there in the forest near the
yeah.
lake. Could you take this over and spray it a bit?" He had an injury or something. It was a huge jug of Roundup with a hose and a sprayer on the end. That you, like a backpack of the shit you could put on. And I thought, are you fucking crazy? And he's like, I do this in a 200-foot like spread all around the house every year
Wow.
because they hate ants. So why don't you go back to the city where there's no fucking ants and go poison that fucking place? Anyway, it's fine. I live on a lake. I just don't like that Roundup. A jug of Roundup being dumped right by the
Yeah.
lakefront. It's okay. It's
Yeah, it's
okay. I
interesting.
do. I like my neighbors. If they ever find out I'm doing a podcast, I hope they never do. If they do, but I like my neighbors. Long story short, people are people. Good
Yeah.
days, bad days. It's fine. I love
Yeah.
all people. Okay.
And I think one of the things again I would say is like I'm hard to deal with. I don't walk around thinking it's just them. Oh, they're the problem. It's like I clearly know that I'm the problem. I have high standards. Most people don't live up to them, and
Mhm.
it's difficult to deal with me in those instances, right?
Yeah, and
Um,
and I embrace my shadow self.
yeah,
So watch out. Watch out if my shadow comes out. Watch out. I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you exactly what I think, and you're not gonna like it.
Yeah, and it's hard when you kind of have worked all day. I wish we would get to the point. I think my mindset would really change if we could get over the hump of where it actually does crumble, so you don't have to deal with the bureaucracy that drives you insane, the person that you can't understand on the phone that has no answers for you. If we could just get past the point where it's like the farmer's market didn't have 1,000 regulations that you have to follow that are now the same as the grocery store, then I think I could see I could see things a little bit easier, but I'm so driven almost into madness about those sort of things, and they really get to me. And I think that's like some of the work I have to do, right? Of like not letting that stuff bother me. And it shouldn't, because actually, my husband pointed out something that's really important is that I don't really have to leave the property or deal with any of that if I don't really want to. I'm kind of spoiled that way. He's made my life really good
Well, there you
so that
go.
all I have to do is focus on that. Yeah, yeah,
It's okay to be miserable sometimes and to suffer and to feel like you've worked your ass off for something that is worthy of doing so. And to get old
yeah,
and and eventually die, it's fine. It's going to happen. And life is not great. I've been reading these existentialists or listening to podcasts about them.
yeah,
And the big thing is like, you know what? Life is fucking hard.
yeah,
Suck it up, people.
yeah,
That's the existentialism message in a nutshell. Now, what do we do next? And what the answer usually is, all the existentialists through history is action. Do something with your life. Do something. Do something.
yeah. Anything.
Well, not even anything. What's driving you? You're on this fucking planet and not forever. You're gonna just like, I don't know,
I
sit in
think
the
we've got to
basement.
change the conversation. I'm tired of hearing this trope about how young people have given up because they'll never have a house and they can't see themselves economically do anything. And it's like, yeah, I get it. My whole retirement and my old age has been totally ruined too. We're now, remember Freedom 55, where you could retire at 55? It's like Freedom
Yeah,
95 now.
yeah,
But I'll say this is, but these young people don't mind if their parents go work and pay
yeah.
for the house that they have and while they're sitting in the fucking basement.
Hmm. Well, I guess that happens. Cheap is. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna limit the grouching. Let's talk about the weather a little bit to wrap up,
It's
maybe.
gale force winds here.
And
Terrible.
yeah, I was just thinking about like something almost philosophical about this. Like, what's the deal with weather? What did I write in my notes? Like, I was in college and every day going to school through the winter, and the weather is this thing that people mention, but it's a source of doom, gloom, or if it's really sunny and nice, it's like, oh wow, it's nice, I feel great. And this is really people's how they work with the weather. Like I put in the
Yeah.
show and the title of our podcast, I even wrote "Working with Weather." With
Yeah. Yeah.
working with it. If it's a bad, shitty weather, is it going to make you depressed? If so, like why? What's your relationship with the weather here? What did it do to you?
Well, some people think it's the ionization of like winds and stuff that actually change people, but it'd be hard to tell now because there's so much weather modification. But one thing that I've lamented over time, including into the climate change talk, is that for some reason, either because we're in a simulation or some sort of evolutionary process that I don't quite understand, our morality of human beings has been linked to the weather, right? So you see bad weather come, and then it's, well, we got to sacrifice a virgin to get that weather back in line. Clearly, we've been bad people. You see a plague come in the Bible, and that was a clear sign that people had done wrong and become amoral. There is some sort of link that people feel between the weather and their morality. And you can see that in the supposed climate crisis is we've been bad people. We've taken advantage of the earth. We're killing the earth. We're earth murderers. Therefore, we are bad people. And that's why we have, fires now. We have climate change now, is because humans are bad. We're
Oh yeah,
amoral. And there is some sort of link there. It could be a simulation thing. You can't write code for everything, so certain things have to be linked, even if they don't seem inherently linkable. Or it could be an evolutionary thing that maybe that's how we kick ourselves back. We rise up as a civilization and we do a lot of damage to the planet. And so, therefore, maybe we are amoral and we kick ourselves back um, using that morality clause. I'm not really sure. And I do think that there's a vitamin D link if it's blocked out, or vitamin D, especially in the northern and the very southern hemispheres, where we're not getting enough, and that can cause depressions and gloomy thoughts. For
Hmm.
me, it's because I can't get enough done in a day outside that I need to get done for my animals or my plants, and then that makes me feel lazy.
Hmm. Wow, that's great. You had a lot of thoughts. I thought a lot of thoughts on that topic. That's great.
Yeah, I spent a lot
Wow.
about that simulation thing, the morality and the weather. Why is that linked?
Wow.
Why is that linked? Why is that linked?
My mind is
And
blown right now.
and every culture, right? From throwing a virgin into a volcano to the Bible to Islam, everybody has it. Like look at the rain dance of native people or whatever. There is some sort of connection between human morality and the weather, and that connection is why the weather bothers us.
Simulation, eh? Holy shit. That's funny.
Maybe,
Do you ever get these
maybe.
do you ever get these aha moments where you think maybe you've understood the nature of reality, even just a little? Something
Yeah,
just like
maybe.
something like, oh, something. You know what? That
Yeah,
happened to me like a couple of days ago in the garden. And I thought, oh, I think this is a simulation.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to think that. But really, I think I was listening to Jordan Peterson, those nihilism shit, these talking about philosophers. Then they were
Mm,
quoting Nietzsche, and it was just like a mind fuck because Jordan
yeah,
Peterson can't take a breath. He's a smart guy, but it's like too much too fast, and your brain gets just so packed. But
yeah,
I think I was digesting a lot of the stuff, and all of a sudden I was like, aha, yeah, of
yeah,
course there's no purpose. Of course there's no purpose. It's life, there isn't. It's a
yeah,
simulation. Oh, so I'll die and wake up, and they'll unplug me, and they'll go, "Cool game, huh? You were there for a whole lifetime.
yeah,
You really thought you were this Dave guy." And
yeah.
doing a podcast is like a dream within a dream. Whoa!
Yeah.
I took it to the next level.
Yeah, there are some people, there are some philosophers that have lamented whether we are just somebody's dream as well, and that's outside of simulation, and does it matter? And
Well, the Buddha definitely was flirting with the simulation idea. Definitely, the Buddha would say something like, "It's all thought. Nothing is real." That table,
mm,
that's
mm,
not there. That's not there at all. It's all in your mind.
hmm
Everything. So really, the Buddha was on board with that too. They were thinking about that 2,500 years ago. Fucking simulation.
And is that why it's so important to like analyze yourself and your personality and how you are in the world and stuff? Because if we are only thoughts, then that's something we need to harness, right?
Yeah, and this brings in huge questions about morality and ethics because we're not moral creatures. If that's the case, it's a simulation.
Yeah.
Morality is something the Bible brought into the world. Pre-Bible, it was the Romans and a slave system. The slaves knew they were slaves, and they were slaves, and the masters were the masters, and everyone knew their place. And Nietzsche loved this. He thought this is great. This is a perfect model for society. Everyone knows where they are. It's fine. The
Yeah.
slaves have their own little markets and societies and whatever.
I
Maybe they get raped sometimes. That's whatever. That comes with the territory.
I don't
But then the
think that.
moralizing came in. Anyway, I'm not Jordan Peterson and I'm not Nietzsche, but this is kind of the shit that they talk about. You know?
So I don't think that the Bible or any of those books were the first onset of morality. It's always
Sure,
been
sure,
there. You
sure.
see that within indigenous people and knowing your place. Like the Comanche man, they will torture you for days as long as you're not one of theirs. Then it's
Right,
okay. That was the
right,
moral, right? So,
right.
and it's interesting to me. You can see that with the Vikings, rape and pillage, steal whatever,
Yep.
that was their way, and that was okay because you were in the service of their living gods.
Yeah.
There is a morality clause, and I recommend to people reading this book, The Moral Animal. It was actually really good. um anyway,
I guess
we are.
you're right about that. And just like the Buddha was before Jesus, and he was Mr. Morality. So just, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
be compassionate to
I think
everybody.
I think we're just a moral creature, and it's so many connections to tribalism, to the weather, to each other, to community, to I mean, we eat other animals, but typically, um, until the civilization kind of loses its mind, we don't uh, hunt or kill everything into non-existence because it doesn't behoove us, right? We have to have some sort of connection to other things so we don't just pillage the earth, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You brought it all together. You've brought the whole show together with that statement. How are we going to wrap up our episode today? We've been talking for an hour and 22 minutes. That's good. I think we've
Well,
covered all the things I wanted to talk about, I think, pretty much. I mean, I got some other shit I could complain about, but I don't want to complain anymore. The sun's coming out.
Suns out, guns out. Well, and the truth is that uh, I think at some point, and maybe this is where I lose sight of other people, is like, yeah, I feel like shit. I don't really want to go on, but there's chores to do and a house to clean and supper to cook, and so you got to get on with your day and just do the work.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing I would say to people is there is something to being busy, and I've talked to Andre about this, of there's something about manual labor that releases the mind to actually think.
Yeah. And I'd love to be able to stand back and go, well, that's a job well done.
Yeah,
If you're shit posting on Twitter all day long and you stand back and go, oh, well, that's a job well done. Nah, that never happens. That has never happened
yeah,
in human history where someone shit posted all fucking day. I wrote the
yep,
greatest Substack ever about the nature of
yeah,
consciousness. 25 pages about the nature of consciousness. Great job. 500 people already did that this morning before you. You're stealing their
yeah,
ideas. You're all full of shit. Great job,
yeah,
everybody. Welcome to the internet. That's why I'm not a part of it anymore. I love
yeah,
social media. I can't fucking stomach it.
yeah,
Substack is really, for the most part, there is shit on there, of course. There's people who write good and interesting things, like Harvey,
yeah,
who's coming on the
yeah.
show again soon. But it's just like, everybody shut up. Shut
Well, at
up.
some point, you just got to go out and live, right? Like,
Yes.
there's the ideas, and at some point, you also have to think your own thoughts. It's great what Nietzsche
Yes.
says. It's good what it's good about all these philosophers. It's great what the neighbor homesteader is doing with their rabbits. But at some point, you've got to go think and synthesize it. And what are your thoughts on it? Or are you just going to regurgitate Jung?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And they were even talking about that on that podcast. Like men, and they were saying like podcasters are people will just say, oh, Nietzsche said this and then whatever. But
No.
you gotta probably read those guys for years in a serious way to really even kind of understand it. Half of them are insane. So it's like you can't claim to understand Hegel and all these guys because they think so deeply on the spirit, almost to the spiritual level, but then they stop.
Yeah.
It's a rationalizing, logical materialism about reality and all these things.
Yeah.
But they never bridge this. This is my problem with philosophy. Like in university, I was taking philosophy classes, and I was thinking they're almost getting spiritual, but they stop because it's academia. And they're writing books, and it's like, what's my final thought? Like they're writing books like Being in Time, like Heidegger. Why?
Yeah.
It's like,
But
okay,
they
well,
are spiritual. Look how they've become spiritual. Look at how that group of yours has taken it and almost made it a religion because people are spiritual and you have to think about that. But I like practicalism, right? I
yeah,
love to let my mind flow into that. Right? My favorite one is the what is the link between morality and the weather? I like to think about that a lot. There's other things I like to let my mind do. But the truth is, my chickens need to be fed. My husband needs to be fed. He likes to come home to a clean house. I like him to come home to a clean house, and I got shit to do. So it
mhm.
doesn't really matter whether we're in somebody's dream. You should still wipe your butt. You should still make good food, and you should still feed your chickens.
Yeah, you still got to do the laundry and all that.
Uh, Yeah.
Yeah, you got to live.
Yeah,
After all the philosophizing, you still got to go feed yourself.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
interesting, eh?
yeah, yep. And this is all part of it, right? Like humans are robust, dynamic beings. Most beings are, right? You watch the chickens and what they do, and they're living a dynamic life too, right? The weather's dynamic, everything's kind of dynamic. We're interlocking, multi-systems fitting together. And it's just interesting to think about it. But at the end of the day, hard work is important. Like Andre says, manual labor is good for the soul.
Oh yeah, totally,
Yeah.
totally. Well, on that note, I think I actually have to go do some manual labor right now.
Me too. Me too.
I
So
really
thanks
do.
for getting together. I
Yep.
appreciate it. I hope it gives somebody things to think about. I hope that they can think about is like, you don't have to be perfect. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to think fuck the whole human race. And it's
But
maybe
you gotta
even
laugh. But you
okay to
gotta
give
laugh
up.
about it. You gotta laugh about it
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
You can
We're
say, you know,
just,
who gives a shit if society fucking fails tomorrow? I'm in a black doom mood right now, and I just don't care
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
But that'll change. But just I embrace that shit. Like we love Henry
Yeah.
Rollins for this reason.
Yeah.
That he would literally say that stuff in his music. I'm
Yeah.
living in a doom, dark, depressed fucking state, and I'm in my bedroom and I'm not leaving and I'm fucked up. And you
Yeah.
listen to that when you're a teenager and you're like, God damn it, yes. Someone's
Yeah.
saying what I'm thinking. And that
Yeah.
relieves you of that torment.
Yeah.
So allow yourself to go into that shadow realm for a while, people.
Yeah.
But laugh about it, brush it, shake yourself off, and go out and do some action.
Yeah. That's
That's
right.
my advice. That's my advice for the day.
The antidote to the human condition must be manual labor, I think, in some ways.
Yeah, yeah,
Too tired to do anything else at the end of the day. But I appreciate
yeah.
you taking the time, and I appreciate anybody that's tuned in here. I'll keep you posted on Broody Betty so she can hatch her eggs anytime from today till Sunday. Sorry if we're all doom and gloom, but
No.
we're not light and love. So if you need light and love, go somewhere else. I don't know.
On that note, have a
Yeah,
great day.
build your own life raft.
Okay, bye bye. Till next time.